like the wind he's about to get. Alrighty, on the center line, little right pedal to stay on it. And aileron's neutral right now, winds are pretty much straight down the runway. Actually should be pretty smooth.
Alright, pulling back.
Okie doke. Try to, just a light touch on the yoke. If you shouldn't have to pull very hard, you can use the trim to compensate for that. They turn a little tiny bit to the left. I'm thinking that up here the winds are out of the southeast. Get another couple hundred feet before you turn.
I see them.
Do you?
I see them. Yeah, they don't see me.
523, turn left at Tango, contact ground point 9er.
Take a point let's take it up to 1,000 feet before we turn.
Okay.
We're going to be flying a traffic pattern here. And ATC will make some modifications to it as needed, but for the most part we're going to try to stay with the standard traffic pattern.
Delta 26.6 off the tower, you ready?
We're going to need a minute.
Alright, so 20 degree bank to the left.
Rogers, if I was ready.
Walk out.
And roll out on a heading of about 080.
Just 5 1 for planning purposes, how many touch and goes do you want tonight?
Well, we would like, I'll tell them.
Alright.
At 5 we'd like at least 8 touch and goes and perhaps a couple of low approaches.
5 1 Roger.
And just take it to 080. Just roll out right there. Right now, don't pass. That way, that's 90 degrees off the runway. If you take a look at the runway, you can see that. Keep your climb coming at 65. And now, start your downwind turn. We're turning now off the crosswind leg onto the downwind leg. Keep the climb coming.
American 1560 Austin, how are you ready?
Keep the climb
Not
coming.
quite, 2 minutes.
In other words, hold 65. We're going to level off here at 1,500 feet. And now
no
start
problem, just about
relaxing back pressure. As you do,
Cessna 51 Alpha, runway 17 left, clear touch and go.
okay, clear touch and go 17 left.
Clear touch and go 17 on 51 Alpha.
Alright, now give it some nose down trim and power back. We want 80 knots at 1,500 feet.
Delta 26
Crab
ready.
out just a little bit. We want to maintain this same distance from the runway.
Roger, just continue down with now and depart the Boeing 757 in front of you.
51 Alpha will continue our downwind and cancel landing clearance.
Delta 2066, fly runway heading, runway 17 left, clear for takeoff.
Add power.
Heading clear for takeoff, 17 left.
We want to hold 1,500 feet. Now you should be trimmed for 80 knots,
57 inside.
so you may have to give it...
Septung American 1560 ready and
Okay, so we got to land...
You have departing 757 inside.
51 Alpha, we have it inside.
Delta 51 Alpha, maintain visual separation with the Boeing 757, caution wake turbulence, runway 17 left, clear touch and go.
Caution wake turbulence and clear touch and go 17 left, 51 Alpha. Alright,
American
RP
1560
on.
Austin Tower, turn right heading 190,
Power
runway 17 right,
RPMs.
cliff takeoff.
Right heading 190, clear for
Give it a
takeoff.
little nose up trim. Pitch for 70 with your left hand.
Left base for runway
Trim for 70. And get your first notch
928
of
Austin Tower,
flaps.
square your turn to finally, you're following a Cessna turn 1.5 mile left base.
30 degree bank turn to the left. We've got the wind behind us. Add a little tiny bit of power and keep that around 17. 30 degrees. And look at that pie slice of ground right out here. You're not going to see the runway yet. Look straight out this window. And now you can see the runway, right?
Yeah.
Now roll out. Flaps 20. 65 knots and trim for it. Don't get slower than 65. And try to see the distance between the top of the panel and the horizon. That's your airspeed indicator. If that changes, your airspeed has changed. Now turn final.
Delta 2066, contact departure, good day.
Delta 2066, switching, good
57
day.
is long gone, but his wake may still be hovering over the runway because there's not much wind to blow it away. Now, the objective is to keep it on the center line. There's a loop.
So I put the wind is blowing from that direction.
It's coming from that direction. It's causing the airplane to weather vane.
Alright, so right rudder.
You don't need to do that yet. You
Okay.
can let a weather vane for a bit. Power back a tiny bit. We're a little high. And those 4 white lights are telling us that we're above the glide slope. This is the glide slope needle
Yeah.
right there. When one of them turns red, you can add a tiny bit of power. And now get on the right rudder and let's get
American
it straight.
1560, contact departure, good day.
American 1560, good afternoon.
Now start adding a little bit of power. I'm going to start hitting sinking air right in here. Don't let the pitch change. A little more right rudder. When you put the right rudder in, you're going to have to keep it in.
Alright.
You may vary it a
928,
bit.
thanks for the help on the speed. Wind is 150 at 5, runway 17 left, clear to land.
And don't change your pitch yet. You see the windsock?
Yeah.
When you're at windsock height, that's when you're going to flare. That's when you're going to bring the nose up to a level flight attitude. Meanwhile, keep the airplane on the center line with the ailerons and aligned with the center line with the rudder. Okay, power to idle. Alright, full flaps, I got it. Alright, now, right in here, bring the nose up to a level flight attitude. Hold that, a little more back pressure. A little more back pressure. Now raise the nose a little more. Up a little more. Hold, 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 pull. Okay, flaps up. Flaps up. Full power, car peak cold. Doing a touch and go. Get on that right rudder as you add power. Get some left aileron for the wind. And this is my landing counter right there. Okay, climb out at 65.
Yeah, they went.
What's that?
I think they left.
Did they? Where were they? Were they in front of the building?
Yeah, right in front of Atlanta.
Okay, well. So we're going to turn to the 1000. We're currently on the leg called upwind. The next one's crosswind. The long one that parallels the runway is downwind. The next one after that is base, and the last one is final.
1524 with you for 17 left.
Southwest 1524, Austin Tower, runway 17 left, clear to land.
Clear to land 17 left, Southwest 1520.
Okay, this is a 20-degree bank. And roll out on about 080. That's 90 degrees off 170. Try to keep the climb coming. You'll still need right rudder even though it's a left turn. Because you've still got all that.
928, turn right at Kilo, contact ground, point 9, good day.
Good day, sir.
And
Right at Kilo.
you don't need a white knuckle grip on the yoke. If you're pulling to hold your airspeed, and give a little nose up trim. Okay, look at the runway. We're going to get used to that proper distance out. That's an important piece of this in this image is holding altitude at a certain distance. All right, go ahead, take your downwind turn. The rectangular pattern that we were going to do today is training for this downwind picture, but I think we can still do it. We can pretend to do it here. All right, when you get to 1,500 feet, power back a little. Give it a little bit of nose down trim. Trim it for 80.
4905 Alpha, and continue your downwind traffic. You're following Boeing 737 on a 6-mile final, sending at 2,500.
Top it off, we'll continue downwind, looking for traffic. All right, 80 knots, 1,500 feet, and crab out just a little. Point out so that we don't get any closer. This is about the right distance out. Memorize where the runway crosses this wing strut, and that'll be your sweet spot for determining that picture.
1524, traffic 11 o'clock, 5 miles northbound, Skyhawk 1,500.
80 knots,
Use the runway.
1,500 feet. We're looking for the 737 on final. Meanwhile, there's a pre-landing checklist that we do on downwind, which is mixture, power, carpeed as needed. Right now, we don't need to change anything. Seatbelt and shoulder harness is secure and fuel is on, and it clearly is.
Yeah.
So just hold this altitude, this airspeed, and let's look for that. There it is.
Yeah, you see it.
So why don't you say 51 Alpha has traffic?
Cessna 51 Alpha 737 is now 11 o'clock, 2 miles, 1,700.
Just say 51 Alpha has traffic.
51 Alpha, see the traffic.
Cessna 51 Alpha, follow the Boeing 737, caution wake turbulence, runway 17 left, cleared touch and go.
They will follow the 737, cleared, touch and go, 17 left.
We'll follow the 737, clear touch and go, 17 left, 51 Alpha.
Okay, let it pass you, going the other way.
American 16.
You can turn a little more to the left,
Visual to 17 right.
just so we don't get any further out.
Tower, good afternoon. Runway 17
When
right,
he's
clear to
passed you
land.
going the other way,
17 right, American 1625.
Skywest 5619, Austin
you
Tower,
can make
turn
your
right,
base
heading
turn. We're going to make our
190,
base
runway
turn
17 right, clear
without
to land.
adding flaps right now because we're way out here.
Alright.
So this should be a 30-degree bank because the wind's behind us. Power back just a little. We don't need to climb above pattern altitude. Stay in the turn. Just watch that picture out front. That pie slice of ground is a very reliable picture for the base turn. Now roll out, and you'll see the runway right over here, right there,
Yeah.
or right over here, right? Now, flaps 10. Pitch and trim for 70 knots. Pull back with one finger, trim away the pressure. We want to stay above his glide path.
1625.
That keeps us out of his way.
2 o'clock, 3 miles eastbound of Skyhawk, 2,500 VFR.
Alright, now start your very gentle left turn on the final. I'll get another notch of flaps before you do it. Now hold 65 knots. He's going to touch down very close to those big white blocks, or maybe a little beyond. All the black on the runway, that's all airliner tires. It's just rubber
Yeah.
right out on the runway. Okay, so now you can set your power to get 3 whites and a red on the PAPI. PAPI stands for Precision Approach Path Indicator. That's the white lights that you see.
Yeah.
And just keep it at 3 whites and a red. That's power that controls that. And that'll keep us above his glide path
1524, turn right at Lima, contact ground point 900 days.
and out of his way. And you see how the wind wants to pull the nose to the left?
Yeah.
You can let it right now. When we get in closer, we'll kick it straight. I don't know where all this turbulence is coming from right in here. There is some. Just, I guess, parking lots and
Power bond?
metal roofs. Yeah, you can do that. And power to 17. But again, it's power is needed, though you may need to add power.
Victor Kilo, inbound 17 left.
Skywest
Okay, now add a little
5619,
power.
contact departure, good day.
You want to be able to hold 3 whites and a red.
Skyhawk 122, Victor
That's where
Kilo,
we wanna
off
be
the
on the
tower,
glide
wind
slope.
170 at 4,
And look
running
at the
17
runway
left,
now.
clear to land.
Yeah.
After a while, you'll be able to look at any runway and know that that's the proper glide slope. That's the runway picture. Okay, let's get across the highway, and then you can kick it straight with the rudder. And then hold the center line, the ailerons. And remember, we're not going to change our pitch attitude until we're at windsock height. So just keep that windsock somewhere in your awareness. Yeah, now kick it straight. Try not to pitch up, though. We're not changing our pitch yet. Add a little tiny bit of power. Get back to 65 knots. A little bit more power. A little more right rudder. That's more power than you need. Some of these power increments are going to be very, very tiny. Now chop your power. Now you're at windsock height, so pitch. Let me help you establish that's level flight. Hold that.
Alright.
Get your back pressure in. Now raise the nose a little more. Pull a little harder. Pull a little harder. Alright, that was better. Flaps up.
American 1625,
Full power,
contact
RP
ground
cold.
point 900.
Left aileron for the wind.
25 will see.
And there's 2. And now double check your trim. You want to climb out at 65. So the test for it is to pitch for the airspeed you want, trim away the pressure, and then let go for just a second. And then double check it. And then if that's maybe you trim for a little bit too slow a speed, give it a tiny bit of nose down trim. Trim is extremely subtle in this particular configuration. Tiny little adjustment.
Everything feels really sloppy. When,
Sloppy?
Sloppy as you get close. When you don't have much airspeed.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it feels. The controls get mushy. But you have to train yourself to get You get the feel of the controls when they're mushy so that you can still put the airplane exactly where you want it. Alright, you can make your crosswind turn now. Now, when we're at Lockhart or other uncontrolled fields, we're going to turn crosswind a little higher altitude. Here, they want us to stay in a little closer. But this is just 20 degrees of bank. The only one that's as steep as 30 is the one from downwind to base. Minus
2 Victor Kilo, if you'd like to continue down attack taxiway Kilo, that's approved.
Kilo, 2 Victor Kilo.
Alright, go ahead and make your downwind turn. Try to remember that distance out as you climb to your altitude.
Cessna 495 Alpha, runway 17 left, clear touch and go.
Say clear touch and go, 51 Alpha.
Clear touch and go, 51 Alpha.
I would crab out that way a little bit. As you climb, you'll see that you'll appear to get closer. That's why it's so important to hold altitude, because your altitude is going to affect your perception of your distance out. So turn out just a bit. We're getting a little bit close.
64 is 8 out, 10 left base.
And power back a little bit to hold
Scott 2 Victor Kilo, continue to
altitude
Atlantic via
and
Kilo,
pitch
remain
it for 80 knots.
Continuing to Atlantic via Kilo.
Now we're going to do the standard
Southwest 1164
Standard
Austin Tower,
pattern
runway
thing.
17
Heartbeat on.
right, clear to land.
power to 1700 RPMs. At the first notch of flaps and trim for 70. This is what we would be doing at an uncontrolled field without ATC. Alright, hold 70, trim for 70. Gonna be a little nose up trim there. And now you're looking back
Southwest 3957
for the numbers of the runway at a 45-degree angle.
Turn right, heading
from your left
190,
shoulder.
runway 17 right, clip
And when you
takeoff.
see them,
190 heading.
make your base turn.
Alright, now?
Alright, 30 degrees, 70 knots. And that picture corresponds. And no sneaky peekies, no rolling out to see the runway. You'll see it when the time comes to see it. Stay in the turn, a little more. Now roll out, right there. Alright, flaps 20. Pitch and trim for 65. Usually when you slow down on airspeed, you have to power back on altitude so you don't climb. And then your hand stays on the throttle. Unless you've got something else going on, alright? Turn to finally. See how we're a little higher in relation to the runway now. You can power back a tiny bit more. And just work with the aileron and the rudder. The aileron controls the side-to-side drift of the airplane, and the rudder controls alignment of the nose. So you can work with those two to maintain alignment. Sometimes you have to take out the aileron because you've got a little too much in there. And maybe you can just trim it so that you don't have to use more than 2 fingers and a thumb. Alright, now back off your power a little bit. Keep on that center line. Little tiny bit of right rudder will help. Not quite ready to flare. Now you are pitched to level. Bring the nose up to level. A little more right rudder. Take out some of that left aileron. Get the nose up a little more. Up a little more. Pull a little harder. Go full flaps. Get the nose up a little more. Pull, 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 pull. Okay, that was pretty good. Flaps up. Get the flaps first. Full power. When you're doing a touch and go, flaps up first, okay? Alright, there's 3.
Southwest 3957, contact departure, good day.
Good day, sir, Southwest 3957.
And then double check your trim as you climb out.
So it should be right rudder and left aileron with the way the wind's blowing?
Yes, but you may have to vary those. You may have to take out some of that left aileron. Because look what happens, you get down close to the ground, the trees are blocking the wind, right?
Yeah.
And so that left aileron that you had coming down final might be too much. And at that point, you may have to take it out. You may also find that you don't need as much right rudder either because the crosswind has gone away. So this is the part that you can't just, it's not a simple formula.
Mike now current altimeter 3000, wind 1605.
It's more an art, you know, and this is the part that's kind of like walking a balance beam. There comes a point where you're walking a balance beam when it's visual and intuitive.
Flight 3462 off the tower, wind 1605, runway 17 left, cleared to land.
Clear to land 17 left, like
20 degree bank. These first 2 turns are just 20 degrees. 65 knots. Alright.
Southwest 1164, contact ground, point niner. 1.964.
Okay, see if you can remember what that picture looks like. When you get up to altitude and level off, establish that picture. I think you're a little bit close.
Yeah.
So crab out a bit, keep the climb coming. As soon as you reach 1,500 feet,
Cessna 495 Alpha, make one right 360 for sequence.
I'll get it. Right 360, 51 Alpha. Okay, we're going to level off here at 1,500, trim it for 80, and we're going to do a right turn 30 degrees. So just piggyback with me. Turn to the right. When they say right 360, they want us to pretty much just stay in the same place on the downwind leg. Hold 30 degrees, look out there. This is just like the turns we did early on. Power back just a little, stay here at 1,500 feet. Hold at 80
Redwood
knots.
221, Austin
Just
Tower,
stay in the
turn
turn.
right, heading 190, running 17 right, clear for takeoff.
Right turn heading 190, we're clear for takeoff off 17 right, Redwood 221.
And hopefully that'll take care of it. Just stay in the turn until we're back on the downwind. Power back just a bit though. We're right over the prison, the state prison right down there. All that. Alright. Roll out on that north thing. That'll give you a little bit of crab back again. You're a little close, so crab that way just a bit. And here, that's about 330. Let's quickly set that. Well, this thing drifts, you know, it's a gyro.
Cessna 51 Alpha, make one more right 360. I have one arrival on 2 mile final, and then a departure, and then you'll be landing after departure.
Powered Alpha, one more right 360 coming up. Alright, 1,500 feet, 30 degrees. Just whatever altitude, you're going to need more power. Even though you think you're high, you're also a little slow. 80 knots. Try to balance pitch and power to hold airspeed and altitude, stay in the turn. Take it all the way around to about north. Yeah, there's that guy landing, and then there's another one that's going to take off. So we'll just continue our downwind. We're going to get on north.
Air Shuttle 2614, Austin Tower, runway 17 left, line up and wait.
17 left, line up and wait.
Okay. So just stay on the downwind, and he'll call our base.
Cessna 51 Alpha, start your left base at your discretion. Traffic's a regional jet holding in position. Let me know when you have them in sight.
Up and Alpha, we'll start our left base. Alright, 30 degrees. You can get your first notch of flaps power back a little bit, 70 knots. Pitch for 70, stay in the turn.
3462,
No
turn right at Lima,
sneaky
contact ground, point niner.
Stay in the turn until you actually see the runway. Alrighty, flaps 20. And Papa Alpha has departing traffic in sight.
Air Shuttle 2614, fly heading 170, runway 17 left,
knots,
take
power
off.
back a little bit.
170 on heading clear, takeoff 17 left, Air Shuttle 2614.
Redwood 221, contact departure.
See how
Good day.
high we are?
Redwood 221.
Pull your power to idle.
Cessna 51 Alpha, maintain visual separation, departing regional jet, caution wake turbulence, runway 17 left, clear touch and go.
Papa Alpha will maintain visual separation, clear touch and go 17 left. Alright, flaps full. And slow it to 65 or even 60. You can pitch and trip for 60 right now. That'll slow us down. It keeps us well behind him. The power's at idle.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to show you yet another trick. You want to learn a trick?
Sure.
Called a forward slip. Okay, I'm going to stomp the right rudder. I'm going to roll in left aileron, and we're creating drag like crazy, and watch how we sink.
Uh-huh.
Won't take long before we'll just straighten it out. Okay, now straighten it out. Now you may want to add a tiny, tiny bit of power. Just a little.
6298 on the visual.
Hold that picture, 65 knots.
6298 off from tower line 1605.
Stay on the center line.
17 right, cleared to
You're off to
land.
the right of the center line.
Right,
So
cleared
get back on it.
6298.
A little bit of right rudder.
Shuttle 2614,
Now
contact
take out some
departure.
of that
Good day.
left aileron. You see how you have to constantly
Shuttle 2614, contact departure. Good day.
and watch it.
Departure
Don't need a death grip on the yoke.
Sorry, I think I stepped on you. Is that Southwest
That'll
3799?
make you
Check it out.
much more sensitive
That's
to trim.
3799.
Alright, now power back.
799, runway 17 left, clear to land,
When
wind
you're at windsock height, you're going to pitch to level.
716 left southwest, or 17 left south, 37 minutes.
Okay, hold that a little more. Now bring the nose up a little more. Hold that, now bring it up a little more. If you hear the stall horn,
Yeah.
that's okay. Bring the nose up a little, tiny bit more. It's okay if you hear the stall horn when you're about to touch down. Get your carpet cold. Left aileron. Alright. Now the stall horn, it comes on before the stall, not at the stall. And if you hear the stall horn like that high off the ground,
That's fine.
perfectly fine. It means you're landing very, very slowly. That's ideal. Alright. I'm going to ask him for a low approach. A low approach means that we're not going to actually touch down. We're going to fly the full length of the runway. In fact, I'm going to see if we can get a low approach over there on that runway.
Okay.
Are you game for that?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to negotiate. Tower 49er Private Alpha, we would like a low approach on 17 right.
Cessna 49er 5 Alpha, roger. It might be easier actually because I have a couple of arrivals coming in for the right side. If you want to do one more touch and go on the left, and then I can bring you to the right side after this one.
That sounds great. 5 Alpha, one more touch and go on the left, and then we'll move over to the right.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Alright, left turn.
Yes, 20 degrees. He's very accommodating. He's not working that hard today. It's not that busy.
Yeah.
Alright, 080. Don't turn too far, or you end up kind of cutting your corner there.
Cessna 49er 5 Alpha, runway 17 left, cleared touch and go, and after this approach, make right close traffic for runway 17 right.
I'll get this. Clear touch and go 17 left, and then right close traffic for 17 right. 5 Alpha. Okay. So scoot over to the left, or to the right, excuse me, just a little bit more, so that we don't get too close. There's the traffic right there. 737. Oh, nice smooth landing on his part. Okay, now, coming up, beam the numbers. What we call the beam procedures. You're going to be doing a lot of that at Lockhart. RP'd on, power to 1700. Once you're in the white arc, flaps 10. Pitch and trim for 70 knots.
799, contact ground point 9, good day.
And now you just relax a little, wait till you're at 45 degrees to the numbers, and then you make your base turn. Base turn will be 30 degrees, holding 70 knots. 30 degree bank, and no sneaky peekies, no shallowing that bank. You'll see the runway when it's time to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, now roll out. Flaps 20. Power back a little as you pitch for 65 knots. Trim for 65. Go ahead and adjust your trim. Little nose up trim. Not a lot, just a little. I'd power back just a little bit more, or a little high. But you want to have a hand on the throttle to make small power adjustments. And make your. This is another 20 degree bank. Fine. Just roll out on the center line. Holding 65. If you want to go full flaps at 60 knots, that's fine. But not any slower than 60 knots. You'll see how the flaps will raise the nose a little bit.
Yeah.
Power will also raise the nose. But just be aware of that. If you don't want the nose to raise, you don't want the airspeed to change, then then you have to counteract. Alright, now you need some right
Alaska
rudder.
670 checking in with you,
Right rudder.
Alaska 670
Little more of
Austin
it.
Tower, wind 1604,
Now some left aileron, just a
right,
little
clear
bit.
to land.
Try to
Little
stay
land,
on that
17
center
right,
line as your
Alaska
balance beam. Alright, now pitch to level, power to idle. Hold level flight with gradual back pressure.
Tango, contact ground point niner.
Bring the nose up a
Tango,
little
ground
more,
point
pull a little harder,
9,
pull hard, pull harder. Alright, nice touchdown. Little wobble there, flaps up, full power. Heartbeat cold, left aileron. And as you lift off, a tiny bit of nose down trim. Wait till you lift off, otherwise you can't feel it. Alright, now trim for 65. Okay, now we're going to make a right turn at 1,000 feet, and we're going to enter right close traffic for that runway. We're going to do a low approach, meaning we're going to fly the center line of that runway, which is more than 2 miles long. It's great crosswind practice, because it's going to be 5 feet off the ground or so. I hope ATC knows that. When we ask for a low approach, that's a different animal than when a normal person asks for a low approach. But we've done this here before, so I think this controller knows us. I've certainly heard his voice before. I'm heading about 170, 165. Don't get too far out that way. And at 1,000 feet, we're going to make a right turn, 20-degree bank.
Alright.
Okay, go. And then we're going to fly along right downwind for that runway. So just roll out now on a heading of, 280.
Austin Tower, Hawk 123, Victor
270,
Kilo.
something like that.
Sky 123,
Oh, I'm right
Victor
there
Kilo,
on the
Austin
west.
Tower, runway 17 left, clear to land, wind 150 at 4. 17 left, clear to land, 3 Victor Kilo.
Okay, I'll give you a hint about when to make the downwind
left at
turn.
Tango, contact ground point niner.
Getting used to right traffic, you're going to be looking at the runway along here. I'll tell you when you're there. Okay, start a 20-degree bank turn to the right, hold 1,500 feet, trim for 80 knots. Roll out on north or so. And can you see the runway just above the base of the window? If the runway disappears, you're getting too close.
Okay.
Or you're getting too high. So try to make sure you see it right in there. Get back down to 1,500 feet. Pre-landing checklist. Mixture, power, carpet as needed. Right now they're not needed, or you don't need any.
Cessna 51 Alpha, runway 17 right, cleared low approach.
Cleared low approach 17 right, 51 Alpha. So they've changed tower controllers. Power back a bit. Seatbelt and solar harness is secure. Fuel is on. Get back down to 1,500 feet. And quickly reset that. That thing is precessing fast. It may be that this thing needs to be cleaned. It seems a bit precessing more than it used to. Okay, we're coming up and being the numbers. Numbers are on our shoulder. Carpet on. Power to 17. Give a little nose up trim, flaps 10. Trim for 70 knots. And now you're going to be looking for the numbers in the front corner of the opposite back window. Hold 70 knots. Okay, I'd say you're there.
Yeah.
Now, 30-degree bank turn to the right. 30 degrees, 70 knots. And no sneaky peekies. You'll see the runway when you should. Alright, there, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, roll out right there, 65 knots, and flaps 20. And I'll show you how to set this low approach up. Now we have a headwind on base.
Turn right.
Yes, but a gentle turn, a very shallow turn. Power back a little bit. We're gonna get it right down on the deck, just like 5 feet off the runway. We're gonna use just 20 on the flaps, not 30. Put us on the center line. Keep that speed stable. Little bit of right rudder. And now you got too much left aileron, so take some of it out. Now get your carb heat cold. Start bringing your power in. Just enough. I'm going to take the airplane for just a sec to get this set up. Getting it right down there. Now add a little right rudder. Take the throttle. I don't want you to climb or descend. I want you to stay on the center line. If the nose starts going left, get on that right rudder and get it straight. Aileron to control the whole airplane. Add a little bit of power. You're losing altitude. Don't let the power push the nose up. Get on that right rudder and straighten it out. Then stay on it. Add a little power. We don't want to touch down. That kind of spoils it. I've got the airplane for just a second.
Okay.
I'm going to add a little bit of power and get the nose down just a bit. Reestablish this configuration. Okay, now do you agree that we're on the center line?
Yeah.
And lined up with it?
Yeah.
Okay, you keep us there. Throttle's yours. You need a fair bit of right rudder. Do that. Stay on that center line. You can fly 2 miles of this, you'll be way ahead on crosswinds. A little more right rudder. Little more right rudder. That'll take care of it. That'll help the wind push you to the right as well.
Afternoon Tower, number 3632 is visual.
Oh, right rudder. Get that nose over there.
Number 3632.
Remember, the nose for you should look slightly to the right of the center line. Because you're sitting on the left. Parallax.
Okay.
I have to deal with the mirror image of that. Alright, once we get to those big white blocks, we're going to go full power and climb out. Okay, full power. Don't touch the flaps yet. Lower the nose just a bit. Give a little nose down trim. Now take 1 notch of flaps out. Make sure you let it sit on the shelf. Climb at 65. And then take your next notch of flaps out. Climb at 65.
Just 5-1 Alpha, are you requesting another low approach?
5 Alpha, we'll be happy to take another low approach if you can do it.
Just a 5-1 Alpha, enter right close traffic, and you have to extend your downwind. You'll be following a regional jet that's about 8 miles final. I'll put them out to you when you get closer.
5 Alpha, right close traffic, 417 right. We'll extend our downwind. Alright, let's do that again. I hope you liked that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Alright, at 1,000 feet, we'll make the turn. Just wait till you got it. Climb at 65, not 55. It's better to set your compass on the downwind when you're level.
Tower, runway 17
When you're in a climb, you're still getting these acceleration errors that make this thing a little twitchy. Alright, it's just a 20 degree
Victor Kilo, turn right on Juliet, contact ground flight 9, good day.
Oh, Mud City down there, that is so ugly. There's a salvage yard down there, you know, a junkyard that's just like swimming in mud. It's ugly as it is, but now it's worse. Okay, roll out, just a shallow bank. You've turned a little too far.
Okay.
You only want to turn 90 degrees. You see what you did?
1886, flight heading 170, runway 17 left, cleared for takeoff.
Okay. Just try to think ahead about headings, 90 degrees. 17 to 9 is 26, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, go ahead and make your turn now. Then we're going to do another low approach. 80 knots, 1,500 feet, pre-landing checklist.
Carpet on.
KAUS
No,
2222.
no, we don't do the carpet on until we're
runway
being the
17
numbers.
cleared for takeoff.
The pre-landing checklist and the beam checklist are two different things. When we get back, we'll make notes on that.
Okay.
Now, the pre-landing checklist is just something that we would do whenever we're setting up the land, whether you're in the pattern or
that
not.
traffic is 12 to 1 o'clock, 3.5 miles, regional jet sending out of 1,500.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's right there.
7 Alpha, traffic in sight.
System 51 Alpha, follow that traffic, cautioning turbulence. Clear for the option, runway 17 right.
Clear for the option 17 right, following traffic, 5 Alpha.
Southwest 1886, turn opening 150, contact departure, good day.
Just hold 1,500 feet.
Switching Southwest 1560.
Number 3632, traffic 12 to 1
And
o'clock,
once he's
2 miles.
past us,
They'll be following
we can
you
make
there,
our base
down.
turn. Let's just stay here 1,500 feet, 80 knots, until he has passed us, and then we'll set up. So we're not going to do the beam procedures here, beam the numbers, because of the traffic, but hold this altitude. And there's a Southwest getting ready to go as well. Turn that way just a bit.
This is the 51 Alpha. Sorry, I'm going to change that. Keep extending your downwind and cancel the approach clearance. I'm going to get a departure out for you.
7 Alpha, we were thinking you were going to do that. We'll extend our downwind, you can call our base.
Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't see him.
No problem. 1,500 feet, 80 knots. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Scout 5222, contact departure. Good day.
Good day, Scavus, 5222.
Delta 523, Austin Tower, runway 17 right, line up and wait.
On up and wait on 17 right, Southwest 523.
Enjoy the scenery.
Yeah.
System 51 Alpha, you can start your base at your discretion.
7 Alpha, turning base. All right.
Number 3632, turn left on golf, contact ground point 9.
You can slow it down a bit, pitch up a little. You don't need to power back. Just pitch up a little bit. Sometimes the best way to slow down is change pitch. 30 degrees, 70 knots.
Southwest 523,
Because we're
turn
far
left
enough out that you really need that power.
Cleared for
And
takeoff.
then roll out right there.
Southwest
And there goes Southwest.
System 51
Okay.
Alpha, runway 17 right, cleared low approach, caution wait turn on.
Cleared low approach 17 right, 5 Alpha. Flaps 10. Slow it to 70. Make your turn to final. Now we'll just sit tight with this configuration until we get in a little closer.
Okay.
Keep it at 70. Or even 75, as long as you're in the white arc.
Yeah.
So we're cleared for the low approach. That looks like the weather is moving out of here. Starting to look even sunny over there. Okay, now you see the PAPI, 4 whites?
Yeah.
So power back just a little bit until you pick up 3 whites and a red. Get your next notch of flaps. Blow it to 65 knots. And as you pitch up, rather than climb, power back. Have we talked about the 2 married couples living together? Alright, well, they're definitely swapping partners right now. Okay, so get back on that center line and trim for 65. So if you were to let the yoke go, will it stay at 65? Yeah, pretty well. Look at all this altitude, we don't need it all, so power back.
Southwest 523, good day.
Power back some, not all. You know, it's very small adjustments to power, that's why we keep the hand right there. And whenever you choose, you can start getting the crosswind correction in. As we get in a little lower, you can get your carpet cold. Start bringing in a little bit of power. We don't want to land. We do want to get a little bit lower. Okay, get on that right rudder. All right rudder, you're going to need a fair bit of it. Left aileron. A little more right rudder. Get that picture totally wired in your brain. Okay, now hold this altitude.
All right.
and hold this position on the center line. Right rudder, when you see the nose go left, you get on the right rudder and straighten it out. A little more right rudder. Remember, the nose should look slightly to the right of the center line for you. Now you need some left aileron. See that?
Yeah.
And as you do that, you need more right rudder. Let's get a little faster. Lower the nose a bit. Add power. We're a little nose high. It's going to be easier if we do this with a little bit more pitch down. I'm adding just a little more power. Here, let me set it up for you again.
Alright.
I've got the airplane, and then I'll give it back to you. Getting a little turbulence here as the sun comes out. Okay, it's all yours.
Alright, I have it.
Stay on that right rudder. Try to stay on that center line. So you're going to be making constant adjustments to aileron and rudder. A little more right rudder, just a little more right rudder, and then you need a little more left aileron. More right rudder. You know, there's one phrase that flight instructors say.
More right rudder.
More than everything else combined.
JetBlue
Yes,
1417 on
that's
the
it.
tower, runway 17 right, line up and wait.
Okay, you need a left aileron. See how you did one over there? Get
Yeah.
on that left aileron, get some more right rudder in. Okay, just before we get to the big white box, you can go full power. We'll climb at 65. You don't want to take any flaps out just yet. You want to wait until you're stable. Alright, full power. Give it a little nose down trim. Wheel
Delta
up.
5 Alpha, enter right close traffic.
Right close traffic, 17 right, 5 Alpha. Take one notch of flaps out. Alright, what would you like to do? You can take the, yeah, you can do that. We can do another touch and go.
JetBlue 1417,
We can do another low approach. How about another touch and go over here and then another low approach? Okay, let's see what you've learned from your low approaches about landing. Climb at 65.
I think I keep overcorrecting and then...
Delta 5 Alpha, if you haven't already, start your right turn.
5 Alpha, we're starting our right turn. Well, it's common to overcorrect until you actually get the feel of the controls, and also that you really lock down on the visual picture that you want. Okay, pitch up just a little, climb at 65. Now that the sun's coming out, we're going to start to get some updrafts and downdrafts. So it's going to get a little bumpier. You can feel it already, right?
Yeah.
Okay, take the turn. Yeah, they chased us onto the crosswind leg a little sooner than I would have gone. That's why we're still so low. But try to climb efficiently though. 65 is best rate of climb.
JetBlue 1417, contact correction turbine heading 190 and contact departure, good day.
190, switching to departure. Good day, JetBlue 1417.
This is 5 1 Alpha, runway 17 right, cleared low approach.
At 5 Alpha, we'll take another touch and go before we do a low approach.
That's 5 1 Alpha, roger. Did you see where JetBlue lifted off?
No, actually did not.
This is 5 1 Alpha, roger. Base no sooner than a 1 mile final then.
Sorry, say again?
This is 5 1 Alpha. I'm just going to extend your downwind to a 1 mile final then.
Alright, we'll give ourselves a 1 mile final. Alright, carb heat on. Put your carb heat on.
Yeah, it's on.
No, it is. Yes, it is. Alright, power to 17. And tower 5 1 Alpha, are we cleared for touch and go?
This is 5 1 Alpha, affirmative. Just take it out to a 1 mile final for wake turbulence.
We'll do that, 5 1 Alpha. Okay. Alright, let's keep the power in then. We're going to go out a little further. She just wants to keep us out that way so that we don't land too long and fly into his wake. And just don't get any closer. Don't start creeping to the right. There's somebody on Final for the other runway over there.
Yep. Alright, it's on the back window.
Yeah, we're going a little further out than
Alright.
that though. It's because. Alright, carpet on, power to 17 now, and we could make our base turn. Get your first notch of flaps. Pitch for 70. Make your turn to the right, 30 degrees and 70 knots. Look at that ice slice of ground. That's something that becomes very reliable. Just stay in the turn. Alright. Now, hold off on the flaps because we're way out here. Just stay in the turn.
Alright.
And roll out on final. Hold it at 70 though. Pitch for 70. Or even 65. Now go another notch of flaps. And use power to hold 3 whites and a red. You see one of those whites turning, another one of them turning red, then add power.
Alright.
At 65 knots. The airspeed indicator is actually the distance between the top panel and the horizon. Add a little power. And
Okay.
Yeah.
801, turn right
we
over.
don't need no stinking airspeed indicator. It's out there.
Okay, right
Now,
away,
you're off to the right of the center line, aren't you?
Yeah. Left aileron.
Left aileron, and you'll need right rudder to keep it straight. You'll see that when you roll in left aileron, you're going to need more of the right rudder. It has to do with the way they're coupled together. Okay, so keep 3 whites and a red. Keep it on the center line. Lined up with the center line. We're doing a touch and go this time.
Okay.
Not a low approach. Stay on that center line. All the way down to touchdown. You may find that your crosswind goes away as you get closer to the ground because all that stuff over there blocks it. And then there may be a gap and it suddenly comes back. A gap between buildings. The wind is a fickle beast. Alright, full flaps. And there's your windsock for judging the flare height.
Okay, yeah, I see.
I'd chop your power now. Power to high. Stay on the center line. Alright, now you can flare, get on that right rudder. Right rudder, stomp it. Stomp that right rudder, come on. Hit it hard. But don't overdo it. Bring the nose up a little more. Up, 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 up. Okay, flaps up, full power, off we go. Left aileron. So if you'd gotten the nose up a tiny bit more, it would have been a gentler touchdown.
Okay.
Stay on the center line now. Climb 65, and there's number 6. And then we're going to come back for another low approach.
Alright.
Southwest 1524 off the tower, runway 17 right, line up and wait.
Line up, wait, 17 right. Southwest 1524.
Alright. Okay, make your turn. Pitch up just a little bit. Just climb at 65.
Southwest
roll out
1524,
right
right,
there.
190, runway 17 right, clear for takeoff.
Heading 190, clear to take off,
Now
17
you're
right.
90 degrees to the runway. That looks good. Okay. Make that turn. Keep that climb coming. Don't let the nose fall here. That way you'll get up.
Cessna 5 and up, are you looking for a low approach this time?
5 Alpha, we'd like another low approach on 17 right, and then we'll move back over to 17 left for some more touch and goes.
Just a 5 Alpha, runway 17 right, cleared low approach.
Cleared low approach, 17 right, 5 Alpha. Okay, 1,500 feet, 80 knots. And then we'll set up for the low approach. Meanwhile, pre-landing checklist, mixture, power, car beat as needed. Right now, we don't need to change anything. We've got it as needed. Seatbelts and shoulder harnesses, secure, fuel is on. And if you're wondering why we check the fuel in the future when you fly more advanced aircraft, you may be switching tanks for landing.
Yeah. This one doesn't have a left and right. It's
No,
just
it's just on or off.
Alright.
Okay, car beat on.
Down 1524,
Power
contact
17.
departure, good day.
Good day, South
1700, little nose up trims, via beam checklist. Little nose up trim, flaps 10. Trim for 70. Now you're looking for the numbers in your opposite back window there. Power's a little low, so just stick with that 1700. Well, not high. Keep it at 17.
Alright.
Try to nail. Okay, you got it. Make
Yep.
your right turn. 30-degree bank. Holding 70 knots. Stay in the turn. Take it to 30. Lower the nose just a little bit. 30 and 70. You want to
51 Alpha, after your touch and go on 17 right, make a left turn out, enter left downwind 17 left.
after our low approach on 17 right, we'll make a left downwind for 17 left with a left turn. Okay. You want to really firm up that image in your brain of what that turn looks like. That's why it's so important to hold 70 knots and 30 degrees so your brain just knows what it looks like.
JetBlue 1401 Austin Tower, runway 17 left, clear to land.
Pitch up just a little, get another notch of flaps. Pitch for 65. Don't let the turbulence distract you, it's no big deal. Pitch up just a little, 65 knots, power back a little, trim for 65. Little nose up trim. Alright, now carpet cold. Keep the power where it is, we're going to lose a little more altitude. Alright, now start bringing the power in. A little bit more power. Let's hold this altitude right here. Stay on that center line. Don't let your pitch change, and you're going to have to wrestle this little crocodile here. Just keep it right on that center line. You're walking a balance beam now. So it's constant, it's a very fluid set of adjustments, constant adjustments. Yes, there you go. Now get that left aileron in, and that right rudder. Now I'm going to take it for just a sec, and I'm going to stabilize it. I'm going to show you how much more stable it could be. I'm going to get a little bit lower, and I'm going to minimize that side-to-side stuff that you're doing. You see what I'm doing? You see how we're sitting pretty much right there? Whereas you're doing a little bit more wobbling. You're doing more of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep it rock steady on the center line. But I've done it a few more times than you have. Okay, it's your airplane.
Alright.
Okay, get that left aileron in, that right rudder. All right rudder. And just before you get to the white blocks, we'll go full power. A little more left aileron there, more right rudder. Alright, full power. Yeah, give it a little nose down trim, tiny bit. When you're stable at 65, take one notch of flaps out. We're going to make a left turn at 1,000 feet.
Alright.
Keep the flaps right where they are for just a bit. Alright, next notch of flaps. Just climb at 65 on a heading of 170. Until we get to 1,000 feet. a few more landings over there before we call it a day.
Southwest 1825 Austin Tower, turn right heading 190, runway 17 right, clear for takeoff.
Right, 190, clear for takeoff, runway 17 right, Southwest 1825.
Now we're going to have a long crosswind, right, because we're going back over there. You probably know now what the picture should look like when you turn downwind. Just keep the climb coming, 65. Try to make sure you stay at their best rate of climb. That makes things easier.
Cessna 51 Alpha, what type of landing do you want on this?
51 Alpha, we'd like a couple more touch and goes and then a full stop.
Cessna 51 Alpha, runway 17 left, clear for touch and go.
Clear touch and go 17 left, 51 Alpha.
He's taking off.
Yeah, well.
Or no, he landed.
Let's hope he's landing. That would be a little scary if he was taking off. 65. Pitch for 65.
JetBlue 1401, contact ground point 9er. Ground point 9, JetBlue 1401.
Alright, then 1,500 feet, proper distance out, 80 knots, and pre-landing checklist. I'm going to leave the mixture just a little as the temp warms up. Power back just a little, pitch for 80, 1,500 feet, and don't get any closer. Don't climb. 1,500 feet. So that's going to give us 9 landings altogether. We're going to do 2 touch and goes. Okay, we'll stop. Okay, that distance out looks good. Don't get any further out. 90 knots or 80 knots. You're at 90 now. Pitch for 80. Pitch up just a little. Alright, and you're going to need a little more power to hold altitude for now. Low, but there's not a lot of time to fix it. You're almost a beam now. So beam the numbers, carb heat on. Power to 17. That's 10. 70 knots. Get your flaps. And now you're looking for your 45-degree corner to the numbers. Try to hold 70. Lower the nose just a bit. Alright. Alright, now 30-degree bank, 70 knot descent, and really try to impress upon your brain that picture out there, that how much ground and how much sky you see in that turn. Alright, roll out. Flaps 20. 65.
Southwest 1825, contact departure.
When you're trying to change pitch, or change airspeed, you're going to change pitch, right?
Yeah.
Remember, pitch and airspeed are married. Feel free to use full flaps if you like.
That's fine.
Oh, you want to stay with 20?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Flaps do add drag. They sometimes make you work a little harder.
I'll do full flaps on the next one.
Okay. Up your power to idle at this point. And now once the nose comes up, you don't want it to go down again. Alright, flaps up. Make sure you get the flaps up before you add power. That's important. That's one of those rules on touch and go. Add a little right rudder there. Yeah, if for some reason you think you pitched up too much, or a gust or a thermal pushes your nose up, you don't want to fight back by pushing the nose down. You want to just stop the rise, keep it where it is. Push down, there's too much danger of smacking the nose wheel on the center line, or on the runway. Okay, it's number 7. I'm going to be quiet now. I'm going to be a sack of potatoes over here, okay?
Alright.
Alpha, continue upwind. I'll call you crosswind turn.
Alpha will continue upwind. Okay, so there's a new one.
Okay.
Continuing the upwind. Just fly 170 and climb at 65. It's not that far off.
Yeah.
Don't turn any further left. Stay over here on the extended runway center
Delta
line.
686
About 170. Turn back to the right a bit.
And 51 Alpha, you can start your crosswind now, thanks.
Alright. Alpha turning crosswind. Okay, 65 knots. You have a tendency to let the nose fall when you're doing a turn, so we'll climb
740 heavy
efficiently.
visual 18, or correction 17
Right, right there at 080.
740 heavy Austin Tower, runway 17 right, clear to land.
And then
17 right, clear to land, FedEx 740 heavy.
once you're right at 1500, you got power
Delta
back.
686 Tower.
Take your downwind turn. 1500 feet, 80 knots.
At Tower Delta 686, we are just inside the marker for the left side.
Delta 686 Austin Tower, runway 17 left, clear to land.
Don't get any closer.
Clear to land,
You're okay,
left,
but don't
Delta
get any
686.
closer. Alright, re-landing checklist.
Alright. Make sure it is.
Just 51 Alpha, you're
meters.
following a Delta MD-80 on a 3-mile final, descending out of 2,000 feet.
I see.
I have an Alpha traffic site.
Just 51 Alpha, follow the MD-90, caution wake turbulence, runway 17 left, clear for touch and go.
We'll follow traffic to 17 left and to touch and go. Line traffic. Alright. Yeah, we can get the mixture full rich right now, okay. Probably want to extend your downwind a little bit. You still got him? He's right there. He's low. He's not the high one, he's the low one. See him?
Yeah, I see him.
Okay. When he passes you going the other way, you can do your beam procedures and make your base turn. Yep, that's Delta. The other guy's on the parallel. But that can be tricky when there's 2 of them out there. Make sure you got the one they're calling. Okay, now do your beam procedures. Heartbeat,
Heartbeat on.
1700. Hold altitude with back pressure. White arc, flaps 10. 70 knots. And then make your base turn. 30. 30 degrees, 70 knots. Stay in the turn. Alright, 65 knots, 20 on the flaps. And Tower 5 and Alpha confirm we are cleared for touch and go.
Just 51 Alpha, runway 17 left, clear for touch and go.
Clear touch and go 17 left, 5 and Alpha. Okay, 65 knots.
Yep.
Alright, and just
Delta
maintain your glide slope.
686, contact ground point 9.
Point 9, Delta 686.
American 2084 Austin Tower.
So if you're a little high, you can power back, pick up 3 whites and a red. those guys are flying 2 whites and 2 reds, meaning that if we're 3 whites and a red, we're a little above them. That keeps us out of their wake.
American 1379, Austin Tower, you up and ready?
No, American 79, we're waiting on our closeout numbers.
American 1379, roger, advise when you're ready.
Will do.
American 2084, Austin Tower, runway 17 right, clear to land.
Airline 17 right, 184.
Add just a little power. Let's land beyond this touchdown point. Add a little more power. Lower the nose just a bit. Keep it right at 65. This is kind of like the touch and go, or the low approach. A little more right pedal. Now chop your power. Now flare. Level flight, right rudder. Get the nose up a little bit. Up a little, pull.
FedEx 740, heavy, contact ground point 9er.
Lots of left tail. That's good. Flaps up before you add power. Alright, off we go. Get on that center line. Okay, next one's going to be full stop.
Okay.
Did I tell him? I think he already knows, but...
Okay.
Let's see what he says on downlink.
Start turning.
Okay.
Cessna 51 Alpha, say type landing.
5 Alpha, this is full stop.
Cessna 51 Alpha, runway 17 left, clear to land.
So, 17 left, clear to land, 5 Alpha.
17 left, clear to land, 51 Alpha.
Tower American 1379 is ready, 17 right.
American 1379, Austin Tower, runway 17 right, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, 17 right, American 1379.
Alright, I'm gonna try to get 70.
Now, you're getting a little bit close, so grab that way a bit. Okay.
Heartbeat on. First notch.
1700.
1700.
Pitch up a little bit, flaps 10. And now get 70 and trim for.
American 2084, contact ground point 9er.
9er, good day.
American 1379, turn right heading 190, runway 17 right, cleared for takeoff.
Now, this turn should be 30
190,
degrees.
clear for takeoff, 17 right, American 1379.
At 70 knots.
Southwest 1164, Austin Tower, runway 17 right, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, 17 right, so it's 1164.
Right.
Yep.
American 1379, contact departure, good day.
1379, we'll see ya.
Southwest 1164, turn right heading 190, runway 17 right, clear for takeoff.
Southwest 164 heading 190, clear for takeoff, 17 right.
Don't push the nose back down.
Alright.
Now bring it up a little bit. Up a little more. Up.
Alright.
If you get it up a little more, then you'll land gentler because you're getting lift. We'll get off at Juliet. That'll be the next taxi.
Okay.
Cessna 51 Alpha, turn right at Juliet, left on Alpha, contact ground point 9er.
Okay, 5-1 Alpha.
5-1 Alpha.
Tower, Cessna 413, Echo Sierra is ready, 17 left.
RP.
Cessna 413 Echo Sierra, Austin Tower, turn right heading 230, runway 17 left, clear for takeoff.
Right, 230, clear for takeoff, 17 left, Cessna 3 Echo Sierra.
Stop.
Alright.
Alright, hit that button, get your flaps up, transponder off. And, tell ground, you're clear of 17 left at Juliet, taxi to landing.
Austin ground, November 4951 Alpha is clear of 17 left at Juliet, taxi to Atlantic.
Cessna 4951 Alpha, Austin ground, taxi Alpha Kilo to Atlantic.
Alpha Kilo 51 Alpha.
Alright. I'm gonna turn off some lights. Oh, on the same time. So, we got 9 landings.
Alright.
I would say they got progressively better. You're not perfect yet, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect it. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Ground Citrus 163, ready to push off gate number 2, Mike.
Citrus 163, Austin ground, push for runway 17 left.
Thank you.
Yeah, at the end I was floating a little.
Well, that'll happen whenever there's any wind at all. If you find that you're floating and you got 9,000 feet of runway, it really doesn't matter. Float. Just try to manage your altitude. You can go on in. You can always add a tiny little bit of power if you find that suddenly your lift goes away. There are a lot of subtle little tricks to make a good landing a better landing. Or to make a survivable landing a good landing, right?
Yeah.
Little subtle tricks. And I'm joking when I say survivable. These are all perfectly survivable. No harm done to the airplane.
As long as you have an equal number of touchdowns and takeoffs.
29er.
Otherwise, you're performing a supernatural act, you know. Oh, we had one more landing than takeoff. Okay. Let's go find, looks like we can get the outside one. The outside one on that next row.
Right before this maroon one?
Well, you see the purple and white one. 7743 call.
Uh-huh.
That one on the outside, this one, facing south. We're pointing, I'm going to point you right at it. This,
right next to these people, or right here?
Right here.
Alright, right.
Go forward a little bit. Don't turn left.
Alright.
We don't.
Oh yeah, because we're going to push it back.
We don't want to get too close to this guy. Now watch your wing. Watch the shadow of your wing and the shadow of his wing. If the shadows don't touch, the wings won't touch. Now look at the tail tie down of that airplane right there. Go forward just a tiny bit. Look at your shadows again. Now turn to the right. And put your nose on that tail tie down. Or to the right. Now straighten out your nose wheel. And I'd say you're there. Alright, checklist.
After flaps up, RP hold, transponder standby, landing light off.
You can leave the beacon on, that's alright.
Avionics off.
good. Welcome to your first session of...
Yeah, that was fun.
See how this thing is blinking red now?
Yeah.
It's telling me it's time to change batteries. So I'm going to do that right now while you're packing it up. Get your stop times.